Scotty here with Flat Track Flashback. We got a very special guest tonight, one of the top amateur riders out of California. Going to bring in Jaymes Arnaiz. How we doing, man?
Pretty good, man. How about you?
Doing well, man. I appreciate you taking time to chat with us today. I think your background is one of the few that might actually rival mine. I'm pretty impressed.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how's life treating you, James?
It's going pretty good. School's good. Family's good.
So, James, tell us a little bit about yourself and what life is like off of the racetrack.
I'm 17 and I like to fish. I did wrestling, so every now and then I got some mats. I like to wrestle. I really dig training. And like good healthy food. I'm into nutrition and everything. So, and school's been pretty fun and enjoying it.
Right on. How long you been wrestling?
Uh, I was wrestling for 2 years. I started my brother kind of pushed me into wrestling my freshman year, so I did wrestling for 2 years, and then I took wrestling off because I started to take racing pretty serious and put more time towards that.
Right on. What are some elements of your wrestling background? Because I hear about riders like Mees and Wiles who have got a little bit of a wrestling background. Are there any elements of that you can sort of apply to your training or flat track racing at all?
Yeah, I mean, just the grit, like in wrestling, like it's like it's just you, just like how racing is. It's just you on the track. So you do all your work together, like you train everything, but then when it's time for your match, it's you got to figure it out. It's like your independence, everything. I like it.
So you guys have done a lot of traveling this year in your racing. You guys have come down to Winter Throwdown, come down to Daytona Bike Week, had several solid results there. Being from California, what all goes into making a trip like that happen?
It's just some real good people behind me helping me, and my dad always digging to take the time off work and travel and enjoy the road trips.
What's Pops do for work?
He does construction, so it's kind of nice to get some work off and go travel. Good company he has, so they allow us to take time off.
Big. That's big. Having that family dynamic with you is huge.
Yeah.
How for you? You talked about being in school and whatnot. How do you find it difficult, or is it? How do you balance sort of like life in racing and life in school and like social aspects? How do you go about that?
I kind of like ever since you like took racing to like real focus, it's kind of like I've noticed a big difference in like having enough time to like train and do my schoolwork. It's always kind of a battle to get my schoolwork done and everything, but you got to have the good grades to so my mom let me go racing. So it's always good. Yeah.
Just gonna ask if that was the caveat, how you had to keep a certain GPA in order to make it to the track.
Yeah. I got to keep good grades, especially when we go on trips and everything. It's like I got to make sure I get all my work and everything. And so when I come back, I don't have no bad grades. And my mom's like, "What the heck? You can't race." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." So
So what sort of inspired you to start getting into motorcycle racing?
ever since like 3 years old, like I was real little. Like I was riding my bicycle and stuff, and then I started riding at like 3 years old in the backyard just a little backyard. I had a JR50. Yeah, it's hanging up on the wall right here. It's pretty cool. And you can see behind me, like just this is a bunch of old pictures and my Uncle Richard's leathers. Racing's always been in my family, and I'm finally able to carry it on since because my mom and my dad were real close with Toby Jorgensen, who sadly passed away. So my mom really never let me race until I 3 years ago. This is my third year racing, so I was never really able to race or nothing. I just had a little 50, 110, and a 125 four stroke. That's all I rode. I never got to ride a 65 or 85. Nothing. Just hopped on the 250s and went to nationals, and ever since then, just been just grinding.
Impressive. So not having come up through the ranks like some of these other amateur riders, what was it like for you to sort of jump in the deep end that first race with the 250?
It was pretty gnarly, like because I raced against Cage and another fast local that used to race here was Miles Henderson, and they were always pretty fast, and it was pretty cool. Like I'd see Cage, like I seen him on like the internet and stuff, like what he's been doing, and I'm lining up next to him. I'm like, dang, that's pretty cool. So I mean, I've had him to always chase after and improve and get ready. So it's been nice.
Right on. I was just gonna say, like, so you mentioned Cage Tavin, as well, somebody we talked about at Throwdown, and another California rider coming up through the ranks. Who else are you sort of battling with on like a weekly basis out there?
Uh Tony Myring and the Christian Spurgeon. Who else? Brandon Weller, Kenny Holland, and just there's all kinds of locals. Yeah, Dominic Diaz. Uh, yeah, it's good to be up in the fast competition now, moving up to the A class now. So it's nice to have those fast boys chase after.
Having a family that's been involved in racing in the past, do you feel like that's been really beneficial in helping you sort of pick it up and like hammer down that skill set when you're at the racetrack?
Yeah, I mean, I have a great mentor to look up to, and my dad he raced for a little bit, and he's been nothing but the best helping me stay focused in racing and getting the bike dialed in and everything. And just for this is the start of our third year, so we're still learning stuff.
For those who haven't gotten a chance to watch you guys race, what sort of equipment are y'all working with? What bike are we riding?
We're on KTM's now. We rode Hondas for 250s. My grandma, uh, she's the one that really helped us. She bought me a brand new 250 Honda, and that really got our racing going. So we were on 250s for a while, and then since I'm kind of late to the game, we had to make the step to the 450s right away. So got onto KTM's, and I love them.
What is it about the KTM that gels well with you? You know, we talked with Cody Kopp at Masters Motorplex earlier in the year and kind of got his thoughts on those bikes. What is it about the KTM that you feel gels with you specifically?
They just fit me when I get on them. Like I like how the shrouds are, everything, and they got good power out the box, and I like how they run and how they roll. It's good. Yeah,
Right on.
and the frame is pretty good too compared to the Honda frame that we were on. It's kind of a little stiff, and then we got on the KTM frames. I really like their frames too.
Thus far, you know, you're still pretty early into it, only being a few years in. What's been sort of the highlight of your racing career thus far?
Um, I'd say a few would be getting my first podiums at nationals last year on Father's Day. That was pretty cool. And then uh, winter throwdowns was real good to us. I'm real proud of how we did at throwdowns. How we were struggling for a little bit, and then things started to click. Sucked that I couldn't stay on the bike for that first main event.
Your Throwdown has that name for a reason, man. It's a knockdown
Yeah,
drag out fight. Just being able to make a main event down there, that's a big deal. That's a
yeah.
stacked field.
We made all the mains, and I was real pumped on that.
How does so racing that event, how does how does the atmosphere there compare to your local racing at Lodi compared to nationals compared to like a bike week thing? Like how do those events all differ? How are they similar?
Those events are like compared to our local track. I mean, there's just the rider count, um, just all the like interest into that event, and like all the attention it gets is it's way bigger than our local races. And I really like traveling to all those races and events because it puts your name out there, and it gives you the spotlight if you're doing good. Yeah. And then when we go to those events and then we come back home, it really improves our riding style here and everything. Just getting that different time on different tracks.
What's been one of the more beneficial things that you've picked up from those events that you've then been able to apply back here locally?
I'd say like lining up to people, like just getting the right mindset. I mean, I've kind of like ever since I moved up to the A class, it's kind of different lining up to like people that you'd make sure to watch them and like study them to make you faster. So now you're lining up next to them. It helps me with my mindset, and it just improves your riding style. Like you go back there and you pick up tips from other riders, and when you're in practice and stuff, you're watching them. You pick up tips and you come back home and you apply them, and you see the big differences.
We just had a pretty big event out there at Lodi on May 3rd. It sounds like you had a pretty solid night out there.
Yeah.
What was the atmosphere? So I guess first, how was the atmosphere for that event? With everything happening with the AFT cancellation, you guys had a pretty solid amount of riders that were in the house anyway that were
Yeah.
already out there. How was the atmosphere there? And then just kind of talk us through your night at that event.
It was big. I mean, all the riders there, like the people it's pretty crazy. You watch them on TV, and then you're lining up for them, lining next to them, and you're trying to take their spot to make the main. It's pretty crazy, and it was nice. I like the big races because it brings in more people and everything, more money and everything. I dig it, especially for like these big races. Lodi likes they take more time in the track prep, so it's like they say like, oh, that's your hometown track and stuff, and but like that we don't ever like often see that track. It's a really good prep track, and I like that track because it's like it's real. It had a big wide groove, so it gives you opportunity for passing and everything. And being in the pro class now, uh, I started off the day with time trials. I was like, I don't know, it kind of got in my head a little for time trials because you go out there single, so you got to go down there and you just got to lay down a good lap. And I kind of got in my head. I came in at one and two, and I didn't hit my points too good, but I was able to qualify pretty good. But I know I could have done better, and then so that kind of like qualified us for our spots in our heat races. Karen got the whole shot, and me and Anselm, we were battling. I was behind Anselm, and I was just trying to work around him. We both went to the LCQ, and it was me and him again battling. And he had the spot, and I was behind him the whole race, and I was just digging, trying to find anything, trying to make him slip up, nothing. And last lap, last corner, I was able to get my wheel in there and work my way through, get the last transfer spot. I was so pumped on that to make the main on and line up to all these people that I watch on TV and look up to, and it was real cool to make the main and get paid.
How did that main event pan out for you?
It was pretty good on the first start, and then sadly there was a red flag, and it was a down rider. Luckily he got up and still raced, but I ended up pulling a little mistake, and I jumped a little and sent me back to the third row. So I had to dig pretty good, and there was another red flag. Dominic Diaz went down, and it was just a real intense main event because everybody's going for that money. So everybody was throwing in on everybody, trying to make a pass and some. So there's a lot of red flags, and I was able to pull off a ninth from the third row. So I was pretty happy with that. Uh, definitely no like that I need to do better, and we learned a lot from it, and we got paid, so it was pretty cool.
That's awesome to have that experience and being able to line up with those pro guys. And it sounds like Taryn runs pretty well there. And
Oh yeah, yeah. Taryn runs good there. Yeah.
so moving on, we've got in a couple weeks back at Lodi, they've got that Triple Crown event going on.
There's going to be the TT, and then the normal short track, and then they have a different short track that they put. So it's going to be, and it's a AMA number one event. So like you get an AMA flag, and it's a 3-day event. It's going to be pretty cool. I'm ready for that. Digging.
What so with the TT and the short track stuff, where do you feel you as a rider are on, like, we've got miles, half miles, TT short tracks as like the disciplines within flat track. Where do you feel your skill set shines the most?
Um, Definitely when we go back to nationals, it's definitely on the short track because we don't really have much half miles or nothing like cushion, and so when it comes to the short track, we definitely shine on that. But I'm lately, ever since we got back from nationals, I've been grinding on the TTs. I've grown to love the TTs. The half mile there at nationals, that I love that. I love that track. It's something different, and from we rode Lima, the cushion at Lima compared to the one at nationals is to me, I like the one at nationals because it's not so deep, and it's kind of in it kind of sometimes it got brushed off, so it was nice able to because like we don't really have like a cushion track, so we know the blue grip pretty good, so once it gets brushed off, well, I feel real comfortable on that. And I dig the cushion. It's good. It's not like too fast, and it's like good speed, and it's fun coming into that corner, freaking flinging it in there on it.
So I assume you guys are definitely looking forward to nationals this year. What are sort of some of your plans and goals for the rest of 2024 and then moving forward? Pro in the consideration, trying to work on sponsorships, like kind of what do we have as like our immediate plans, and then like down the road, what would you like to achieve in your racing?
Immediate plans is we're setting our focuses on amateur nationals already because it's coming up quick, and we're going to be going for the Nikki Hayter Rising Award. We're definitely going to try and get that, and to honor Nikki Hayden and everything. It'd be a good name to have on us, and to like show like appreciation and everything. And then we'd definitely try to get a good team together for next year. For next year, we would try to go rookie year in AFT, get a good team together, good sponsors and everything.
Jaymes Arnaiz, thank you so much for your time. We're looking forward to following along with the rest of your year and catching you as we come to the Triple Crown with Lodi and onwards to amateur nationals. Again, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for hopping on the bike and chasing after this and competing in this sport that we love so much, man. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Scotty.